Hello, everyone. Hope your end of summer, beginning of fall is going well. It's almost the last week of October. Ooh, I'm fast forwarding, y'all. Last week of September, which is crazy. Everything, like I always say, is going by too fast. And what better time to self promote myself since time's going so fast? You might not have enough time. You might have less time than you think. This pitch is not going the way I thought it was going to go. Basically, you should read my book before you run out of time. What if I ruled the world? Poems inspired by music, written by me, your boy. Always linked in the description. Always linked in the link tree. You know the jerk. You know the drill. But today we're here to talk about the newest. Is it the newest? A new Netflix documentary. I don't know if it's the newest one on Netflix. Uh, but it's called Unknown Number: The High School Catfish, which I do kind of have an issue with the title, but we'll get into that. But before I give the synopsis, I'm going to give a big spoiler alert. I am going to reveal who it is because my rant that I have at the end of the video and some things I talk about um, with my pros and my cons are going to have to reveal who. I don't know, have to reveal is the right word, but I'm going to reveal it in my rant anyway. So, spoiler alert if you have not watched it, I will say who the person is. So, the synopsis is: a teen girl and her boyfriend face persistent harassment from an unknown caller. Police investigating months of torment discover a revelation that upends their initial assumptions. Which boy does it ever? It was released August 29th of this year. The director is Sky Borman. Borman. Oh, Sky Borgman. I thought that's even worse. I don't think I'm saying that right. Borgman. Sorry, Sky. But anyway, the cast is Lauren Licari. She's herself. She's a stalking and harassment victim. Oh, I spelled her name wrong throughout this review. There's a Y in her name. Whoops. Sophie Weber, who is a friend of Lauren and Owen. And Owen. Owen is the boyfriend. So Lauren is the girlfriend in the situation, and then Owen is the boyfriend. And then Orrin McKinney, so he's a stalking harassment victim. Sean Licari is Lauren's dad. Kendra Licari is Lauren's mom. Jill McKinney is Owen's mom. Dave McKinney is Owen's dad. Bill Chillman is the superintendent of the school. Dave Boyer is the principal. Mike Main is the sheriff. Craig Wilson is Chloe's dad. Tammy Wilson is Chloe's mom. The way I have this copied is not in the right order. But anyway, Chloe is Chloe Wilson. She's a friend of Owen, Macy, and Sophie. And then Adriana is Owen's cousin, who's also a person of interest. Besides Chloe and I'm getting everybody confused. Besides Lauren and Owen, these other kids are suspects. So Chloe, Sophie was a suspect. Adriana, who's Owen's cousin, was a suspect. Bradley Peters, the FBI liaison, who finally cracked the case. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. There's a lot of people in this, y'all. Where can you stream it? It's only on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive. Sorry if I sound stuffy. I've been a little sick on and off. But yeah, so that's where you can watch it and everything. So, getting into my pros and my cons. Which of my cons I'm going to spoil it, which I've already given the warning. So, but the pros are I do like the kids' interviews. I think the way they framed the kids' interviews and had them come out in order of events was great. It definitely made it more suspenseful to see each kid get brought up and seeing if they get ruled out or not. So like each kid, they would talk about their their life at the time and what was going on, and then they were talking about when the text messages started and what they were thinking, and then somebody might be, they might think it might be this person, but they're like, we don't really have enough evidence. Let's deeper. Let's go this person, that person. That was kind of cool. It's suspenseful to see. I like the cinematography. I think the way this was shot and put together was nice. Having people like fade in and fade out. I wish you could screen record on Netflix, but you cannot. I guess if I watched it on my TV, I could just record my own TV, but I didn't do that. I watched this on my phone, and they do not let you do it. Um, and where everyone was set up at, oh, and where everyone was set up, like their rooms and stuff, like for the kids especially, showed their personalities. Um, I would have them solo most of the time to show like their vulnerability. I feel like so like it wouldn't be anybody in the room with them when they were giving their testimonies, and so it felt like, oh, this is like a moment for them to be like vulnerable and open. And then my last pro is the storytelling, the way the story was told in order as it was told. I think I might say as it was unfolding. I always have a typo every video. As it was unfolding, was very good to me. Although some of the framing also was an issue for me for one person, which was the perpetrator, basically. Um, the rest of the framing and revealing of everyone throughout the story was done well. All right, so let's get into my cons. My first cons is the framing. So I mentioned briefly the framing was an issue for one person, was which was who turns out to be the perpetrator. I think they shouldn't have even introduced the perpetrator with everyone, although I feel like it would have given it away. So I don't know what I would do differently because they introduce everybody, but they don't. I guess part of me kind of like would kind of have liked that person to be left out, and maybe they talk about that person like going to the school, doing what she was doing, and but they don't have her talking until it's revealed that it's her, which I'm gonna reveal who it is in my next con. But I felt like that maybe that would have been better because like the way they framed it, like everybody was just talking, I feel like, and just came in and um and I guess that's kind of better because you don't spoil it. Because if you don't see that one person doing interviews, you'd be like, is this the person? Because they haven't said anything. So I guess I'm not a filmmaker, so let me know what y'all would have done differently if y'all watch this documentary. But my second con is my like biggest one, really, is coddling the perpetrator. So the perpetrator ended up being Lauren's mom, Kendra, who was sending the text messages to her own daughter, harassing her, and quite frankly, sexually harassing. Some of these text messages are sexually inappropriate, and they didn't really address that. So yeah, they coddled the perpetrator. Basically, like they did not grill her. They should have grilled her more. Um, they should have really laid into her. Like they were like, oh, people make mistakes. No, she is telling her daughter. Okay, y'all. Some of these text messages are really disgusting. They are like sexually explicit. Like, oh, and mind you, these kids are 13 and like 14 when this is happening for like over a year. It was like 19 months, I think, from what I can remember. That's crazy. She's saying, oh, you don't give blowjobs to your boyfriend, to her own daughter. He likes to be with me. Like, all of these really sexually explicit things, and they don't talk about any of that. And then she also tells her daughter to kill herself. Like, what in the world is going on in your mind? And they treated her like she made a very minor mistake, but this is a huge deal. You're telling your daughter to end her life. That's not a minor mistake. That's insane. That's craziness. And they did not lay into her like I wanted her to lay into her. I wanted them to lay into her. This same woman was lying and harassing her daughter this whole time, and they treated her too nicely for me. I would have tore her a new one. I would have cussed that bitch out like she owed me money. Because why would you do that to your own child? And then her explanation wasn't good. And I understand that some people can have mental health issues and stuff, but there's some other issues going on that I'm gonna mention in my overall opinion. That she had time to go and get some help because she had time to do all these text messages for a reason. Cause um, I might as well just say it. Um, she had no job. She was supposed to have two jobs actually, and she had none of them. She got let go of one, but they had her cousin or her sister, one of them up there, and the cousin or sister didn't even think she even had the other job for real. They don't even think she even like clocked in for that job. But she's telling her husband she got these two jobs, and I guess she's working from home. That's what I wanted. That's what I was wondering when I sent like a voice note as soon as like I finished the documentary to my friends and like was ranting about it. I was like, what was she doing? And maybe what she could do, she could work from home. But I'm just wondering, like, is she getting the coffee ready? She's getting up. Is she leaving the house and then coming back? Like, what is she doing? That you don't know that she's not at either one of the jobs. That is insane to me. Yeah. But we'll get into more of that on my overall opinion. And then my last con, which like is kind of minor. I guess I should have put that as a second con. Using catfish in the name. So yeah, so them misusing catfish bothers me because that's not what a catfish is. A catfish is pretending to be somebody else, but throughout the documentary, we don't know who it is until the end. That's not a catfish. A catfish would be like somebody pretending to be like Brad Pitt, for example, which has happened recently, and trying to get money from you by being Brad Pitt. That's a catfish. This is not a catfish situation. This is an insanity situation. That's what it is. So let's get into my overall opinion. I did enjoy the documentary, but the reveal of the perpetrator really pissed me off, as you can tell. Especially since Lauren's mom, Kendra, pretty much downplayed what she did, and I wanted to go through the screen and choke her. LOL. But really, if the technology was there, I would have went through the screen. On Lauren's behalf. I wish they had grilled her more instead of coddling her because she really deserved that. I feel so bad for Lauren because she's still young and she still wants to be around her mom, which is sad. But her mom will do something even worse, and she will finally see that her mom needs to be cut off. I'm gonna go into a rant about that. Also, the dad had great restraint because I would be livid. He was mad, but but the daughter was also there, so I think he probably wasn't going off as much as he could have gone off. Because not only you're harassing our only child, you see, I already mentioned that she didn't have no damn job. She said she had two jobs. She has zero zip, nada of the jobs. And then they had like a couple evictions. They had to keep moving because of financial problems. Listen, after the first eviction, I'm opening up those bank accounts and seeing what the hell is going on. Because why are we keep getting evicted? Yeah, after the first one, he should have been involved with the monitoring the finances. Because clearly, she wasn't hiding things. She wasn't doing what she's supposed to, and she's taken 19 months of unemployment to harass her own child. And the excuse she gave was just so terrible. She was sexually assaulted, unfortunately, at 17, and she's like, "Oh, I wanted to protect my daughter." From what? Just talk to your daughter and say, "Hey, these are the signs of maybe, if somebody is doing this or XYZ, or if you say no, make sure your no is a firm no and try to get out of the situation as best as you can. But if something happens, you could talk to that is a reasonable thing to do, not basically sexually harass, and verbally harass your daughter, pretending to be somebody else. That was just insane to me. And she got off. I don't want to tell you all every single detail because I mean I think you're gonna be mad. But I think you should watch the documentary. But she didn't get enough time for me at all, especially with like some of the context of these texts. Like I mentioned a little bit, but there was some other stuff that was really explicit, and I just don't understand how that was just brushed over. Sky, like what is going on? The director Sky, what? What? Who would you put in charge of interviewing? Because I should have been up there. I would have got some real answers. I would have got on her ass. But anyway, I'm gonna rant again in a minute. So here we go. I'll give this documentary 8 out of 10. It's very suspenseful and it did keep me on the edge of my seat. It did. Because I was like, there was one of the kids, I'm not gonna say which one, but basically she was um multiple, now mind you, multiple people said that she was mean, not just the one kid that said that she bullied her, but even like a close friend of hers said that she was mean. So I was like, yeah, she's a bully. But she didn't end up being the perpetrator. So I mean it's like it is what it is. I was gonna reveal some more, but I'm like, I don't want to tell y'all everything. But my rant is called Cutting Off is Okay. I think I said Lauren is in, oh, I think I said earlier, Lauren is in for something much worse if she allows her mom to come back in her life, which she, unfortunately, at the end of the documentary, was wanting that. But they had to be separated for now, or for however long. I don't know if it was like filmed now, like recently. But yeah, I feel like it probably was. But anyway, um, oh, I meant to put if her mom could do all these horrible things to her, not only her, mind you, it wasn't just her, but also to her friends. To no telling what else she can think she can get away with because she didn't get a lot of time for the stalking and harassment charge. And also, she was sending this to her friends, her daughter's friends. So basically, like you're trying to mess up the friend group as well because you were trying to frame another child. And I knew something was up because I kind of got it spoiled for me on Twitter. I did. And then there was a detail about how only one person, it was like a detail about a basketball game, and how one person and then the mom, Lauren's mom, was the only people who knew the score. And I was like, I feel like that should have been a red flag when it was only those two people who knew the score, and then they ruled out. And they ruled out one of the people. Obviously, they ruled out Chloe because um, she was the one that was playing the basketball and got those points. So I don't know. They should. I feel like they should have solved that much quicker than they did. Because like, if you know that, if you figure out that detail, but you figure out, oh, okay, this person and these two people would know, but you rule out the one person. Should you go to the other person? Yeah. So that I will say they didn't have the FBI technology, but still, I feel like they did kind of fumble. Oh, and that sentence was way too light in my opinion, like a slap on the wrist, basically. I didn't like that, especially since she sent sexually explicit messages to minors, which I talked about a little bit. She deserves to be put on the sexual offender registry for that. She deserves to be on a list because she put some disgusting things. I wish they had pursued those charges too. And also the fact that she's trying to break up her daughter and this boy, and there's some other details about uh, um, Kendra Lauren's mom and her with her boyfriend Owen, and it did not seem like Kendra looked at you know Lauren's boyfriend as like a son. It looked like she was looking at him like as more. Well, not like a. I don't know if that makes sense. She wasn't looking at him like in a son way, more of like she was a jealous lover. It felt like way, and it was weird. And nobody like. I feel like they addressed it a little bit, but not the filmmakers, which who should have addressed it should have been pressing her about that. So that was weird. And yeah, she served more charges than she got. And I think it's perfectly fair for her to cut off her mom completely. For Lauren to just, it ain't nothing to cut that bitch off. That's what she needs to do. I honestly think it would be for the better. Because if she said those horrible things to her as a child, her own child, as a child, imagine what she would say to her grandchildren. That would be insane. I think Lauren needs to learn more about herself. without her mom. I don't think she needs her mom in her life, and I hope one day she realizes it before her mom does something even worse, which worse than all of this is very crazy. And I understand Lauren. She probably like she's young. She I think she was just graduating high school at the end of the documentary. You know, you grow up, and I think also she's like an only child, so she just has her mom and dad, and she probably, the mom was probably like the person she was with the most. So it's like I don't know if it would make sense to say a trauma bond or like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. I'm not an expert on those two things, but it has to be one of those. But no, she would have been out of my life forever. She would have never seen me ever again. Especially you telling me to take my own life. Oh nah, you would never see me. Mm-mm. That when I don't want to spoil too much, but I think that that dad had a lot of restraint and had a lot of self control because I'm not saying men should be hitting women, but I would have dragged her out that house. Okay, that would have been me. Once we found out, I mean, he did tell her to leave, but he was very calm about it. I don't know if I would have been that calm, especially for my daughter, our daughter at that. Like, what is wrong with you? And she didn't have no good explanation for any of the stuff. So, but when you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, have you seen? I always forget the name of the documentary. Unknown Number, the high school catfish. That isn't really a catfish. It was just an unknown number. But I guess catfish is like something that catch people's attention because people know what a catfish is. Um, but yeah, anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on the movie. If you've seen it, if you've not seen it, will you watch it now that I've spoiled it and you want to see it unfold for yourself? Because it is a lot. It's very intense. And I could not imagine going through this and then finding out it's my own damn mom. Oh yeah, I take me out the will. I don't care. Whatever's happened, we would never see each other again. But that's just me. What would you do in that situation? Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you all next week.